So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining with us today. And we are happy to have you all on board to share our thoughts and ideas about this digital transformation webinar that we have planned for you. So when we are in this pandemic-stricken era, we always want to ensure that we do our part to stay together and to empower our partners and clients and businesses to get through this and thrive in our respective industries. So as an initial step of this, Microsoft, together with Arimac, one of its gold partners, have come together today for this webinar to give you an idea about the areas that we can focus when it comes to transforming our businesses with digital enhancements to improve revenue and user engagement. So with that note in mind, I'm opening the floor to Jeffrey, partner Microsoft, to give an introduction and to start off this webinar today. Thank you, and over to you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Ayanti. Let me get my presentation up. Yeah, I hope the slide is up now and you can see it.
Yes,
so first of all, thanks, Ayanti. First of all, I'm taking this moment to thank Arimac team as well as our valued customers for joining this session, being a working day, to understand how Arimac together with Microsoft could help on your digital transformation journey post-COVID, right? So this has been a very important topic when it comes to every organization across the globe, right? With that, let me go into my slides. So the theme today is how do we accelerate your move to an intelligent enterprise together with our partner, right? Moving. So the partnership, like Andy correctly said, right? So first, let me give you an introduction about myself. So I'm Jeffrey Ilham. I lead the Azure Strategic Sales for Southeast Asia emerging countries, covering 9 countries. And Sri Lanka Maldives is one of the top, I would say, contributors when it comes to the digital transformation. Arimac is one of our goal partners whom we are doing a lot of work after understanding the potential they had, right? And that's where the best of turnkey solutions comes into your play, which you can partner up with them and then explore. So today's era is every organization is being digitally powered, right? And the economy is being digitally powered. And software is being infused in every part of a business, making every company a software company. That's where capable partners like Arimac, who has had the best of experience giving great solutions to customers, comes in handy. And we work very closely from a platform perspective. So how we work, as mentioned by our CEO, right? So today's announcement is he's going to chair the board as the chairman of Microsoft. So what Satya says is, right, we will always be a partner-led company. We empower software partners like Arimac, right, on the Microsoft cloud to create exceptional value for customers and transform industries. How we go into play with partners like Arimac is, so to give you a glimpse of Microsoft's strategy, We empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. That's our mission, and that's the core which we believe in. Our worldview is we are an intelligent cloud, intelligent edge company where we provide an end-to-end platform to our customers through our valued partners. So the solution areas covers gaming, modern workplace, which is Teams, which is at the hype, as you all know, application and infrastructure, modern life, business applications, and data and AI, which comes in handy as an end-to-end solution to our customers. So the culture, we believe on growth mindset and leadership principles to make a difference to our customers together with our partners. So going back to Microsoft's worldview, right? We are a multi-device, multi-sense company. We give the capabilities of artificial intelligence through our platform. And we also provide the serverless capabilities to our customers. So in combination is where we provide a digital solution with Arimac, which Ayanti and the team will be explaining us going forward with the solution verticals and the areas which they have built on Azure to serve our valued customers. Why Microsoft? So we are the world's largest cloud network, even bringing in the competition together. None can match our scale. We have 60 plus regions with 150K plus miles of fiber and sea cable, which is owned by Microsoft. And we provide 160 plus edge sites. That's the points of presence, right? Today, every industry, every person of a life needs multiple edge devices, right? So that's where the real game changer comes into play with solutions like which Arimac carries. So once again, why Azure in just three areas, right? The global presence and the scale which we carry. And most importantly is the second element, which is the security. There are multiple cloud vendors in the industry, right? And there are also hosting providers in the country. How we bring in that value is when you take the research, right? As per the research, number one is the most, I would say, the two companies who are most probable for cybersecurity threat is number one, Pentagon, number two is Microsoft, right? So we invest 3,500 full-time security professionals just screening towards a monitor. Their job is just to look at the monitor to keep on monitoring 6.5 trillion global signals daily, right? And that's where we spend more than $1 billion annually for cybersecurity. That's the security we provide to our customers when they use our platform, right? Finally, one of the main areas which you need to look at is the compliance. We carry 93 plus compliance offerings, which is geographically, industry-wise, regional-wise, and particularly based on the customer's need, right? So for an example, I know Arimac is across, serving multiple overseas countries also, and they're going to drive us through those case studies today. So say you have an European customer, right? The European Union has its policy when it comes to the GDPR. So if you are looking at a platform which, you need all those coverage in terms of compliance, that's where the Microsoft Azure platform comes into play with our partner solution. So this slide gives you a glimpse of the overall Microsoft Azure solutions and offerings which we bring to the table, right? So starting from Azure data center infrastructure. So we have the infrastructure as a service, which is the VM based, covering compute, storage, networking. Then we have platform as a service, which covers once again the new trendy compute with containers, Kubernetes services, for an example, then the web mobile platform, DevOps, which is one of our development platforms which we provide end to end. Then the integration, IoT, which is very much working closely with Arimac, artificial intelligence, analytics, data services, etc. Right? And we provide the security and the management capabilities also, which comes under the Microsoft first party solution. So that's how we cover end to end as a platform to our valued partner, Arimac. I'm not going to take much more time. I'll just run through only this slide and then hand it over to Supun, right? Why Microsoft? Yes, there are multiple vendors across or multiple cloud vendors across the globe. When you take the top Fortune 500 companies, 95% and I would say more than 95% are with Microsoft, and they run their services with Microsoft. That's one of the biggest value which we bring in terms of our value to the top enterprises. And we are not a movie company nor a search engine company. We have been always a pro technology company, a software driving company. So we know where the security glitches may fall in and how we need to mitigate and provide that end-to-end secured platform to our customers. In a high level, the Azure benefits, which comes in handy with our partners solutioning. So lower TCO, disaster recovery, which comes in handy, and the OpEx, right? Customers don't need to invest upfront. They can pay as they grow, and they pay for only what they use. So that's one of the unique capabilities which comes under the Azure and the cloud offerings. Deployments are much faster, lower lead times. Those days, customers used to take, 2-3 months to import hardware and provide you resources to deploy something, right? But today, within simple clicks, you can simply spin up VMs and services to have new solutions in place. Then finally, how we bring inclusiveness and culture, which is going to give you also the mindset of how you explore new capabilities and new areas of providing value to end customers, right? To customers like you. And then, value realization. You can simply spin up POC infrastructure services, pilot services to see how the product works and how it helps you. So that's all about when it comes to the unique propositions, or rather the unique values which we carry to our customers. And that's where we are committed together with Arimac to provide you the value which Arimac carries in terms of their solutioning into different verticals and different capabilities. So our commitment is there with Arimac, and we are happy to explore and support you, our valued customers, with the partnership we carry with Arimac. With that, I would like to hand it over to Supun. Over to you to take us through the solutioning aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So before starting the session, I would like to invite all of you to put any questions you have, any doubts you have. We have our chat open, so there's a live Q&A that's there. So please feel free to put any questions you have, any doubts you have, because this is a session organized pretty much encouraging more engagement and giving you guys more insight in terms of what we've been doing and along with Microsoft. Okay, so my topic today, or rather, I want to touch base on digital transformation. So before doing that, let me quickly share my screen so that can give you more of a depth in terms of how we are to go about it. Um, yeah, I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes,
yeah,
we can.
Great. Awesome. All right. So before going to digital transformation, one of the main things that I would like to touch base on is the fact that we are in a world where we are looking at fierce competition, and everybody, we all of us are trying to thrive or rather go beyond our competition. So it's a fierce competition to capture the world. And one of the main things us at Arimac, and I'm sure even Microsoft strongly believes, I'm sure when you go through the slides which Jeffrey was explaining earlier, you would have seen that more emphasis is on technology and the use of technology. So that's the best tool that's in your arsenal. So having that, in this fierce world, there's so much of competition, and technology being the key thing that can actually be the unlocker for us. We'll move into the topic in hand, which is the digital transformation. So in a nutshell, in a definition point of view, it is the process of digital technologies to create new or modify existing business processes, culture, customer experience, and meet with the changing business and market requirements. You can see that it's basically digitizing everything along with the outset of not just a process. So all these days we were thinking, hey, it's just a business process. Probably it's just a production line we're digitizing. It's actually a lot more than that. We're talking about digitizing culture, digitizing customer experience. And COVID-19 in a way is a blessing in disguise for us to encourage remote working, encourage remote connectivity. And we've been using Microsoft Teams a lot more than we've used to. So which becomes now a necessity for us. So in the morning, back in the day, we would have just checked on a couple of other messaging apps, but now we're checking on something like Teams as a routine basis, so that it creates a cultural aspect. Now we are connecting on live streams, we're connecting digitally via this gateway of a laptop or a PC, simply connecting that transformation piece. So having that, and having said that, the current context is that we actually go beyond this digital transformation. So digital transformation in its means itself says that we are changing how the business lines, how these processes are changing along with culture and along with the business changing environment. But now we are in a phase where we're talking about digital disruption. I'm sure you guys have heard this. Most of the things that probably will follow suit is something that you're already aware of. But for the wider public, I would like to give this kind of an introduction towards the topic. So digital disruption is basically where we take this entire paradigm into a whole new shift, and technology being the enabler to do that. Best of the case examples which everybody talks about is how Uber changed it, how PicMe changed it, where you're kind of redefining the entire businesses altogether. Rental business, the online food delivery, package delivery, that entire businesses are now overlaying on something like Uber. Let me not reiterate much on this. So Airbnb, again, it kind of redefined the entire hotel industry and changed this landscape altogether, and not owning even one hotel. So we at Team Arimac, our objective or our focus is in terms of being an enabler to disrupt all the landscapes available out there. So going with that, let me quickly run you guys through a couple of case studies that we are very proud of explaining, and in terms of how we have done this transformation. So I'm sure we all have used self-care applications when it comes to the telco services, and use app is something that is a phenomenal change which we our engineers and our business teams together have come up with, which is a gamified self-care application which we have done for Redo, our Algerian client. So the paradigm shift that happened using this is that we managed to create a self-care application on gamification. So there's a lot of gamification aspects which being used in this platform, where you do have a lot of ways that you connect back and forth in terms of this experience. If I may to give you a little bit about it, like a cool case study around it is that, say for instance, you are having you create the application itself gives you certain milestones and gives you rewards as well. For instance, it says you need to do X amount of calls and you get Facebook for free for a day. You get them to send this much of SMSs or this much of data you need to burn, you get WhatsApp for free for a day. So you're giving incentives as a roadmap. As you can see, this character that's there, it's called Fennec. It's an Algerian character or an Algerian animal rather, fox, that kind of connects with the local audience. So we truly believe in that localization aspect, along with creating this novel technological blips, which actually helps to drive that positive behavior. So here the self-care application is promoting in terms of how you can actually get people to use more on the telco infrastructure and at the same time get more benefited. In the outset, what they're trying to do is that you will automatically be adapted or rather be connected to a lifestyle of data which you're not normally being used to. For instance, now you're getting a couple of days of YouTube for free, which kind of drives your behavior to watch more content on YouTube. In the same time, brings in this artificial behavior among the user to consume more data and to be shifted to a whole new lifestyle along with that. So that's a little bit of cluster around the use. And Dialog Megaran had been one of the phenomenal game changers in the Sri Lankan context. So being the most trending game for the last 3 years and being the most downloaded game for the last 3 years. Again, instant gratification, instant data gratification is what we offered here in a simple 3-lane runner kind of a game. So it's actually connecting the dots. But most importantly, what's important here is that how we connect them on the user adoption point of view. So something that we've always stated is that data is basically going to be the next currency in terms of a local mindset point of view. So people actually do value data as a currency when this actually came into life. So, and giving data rewards in a way is basically like giving out cash, but actually in a very more lucrative way. So that's on Dialog Megaran. I'm quickly going to run you guys through these case studies and probably give you more of insights in terms of how we can actually infuse the technology along with some of the case studies. So RP Quest, I'm sure Indika in his next session will be touching base on some of these expectations or rather what we've done here as well. But in a nutshell, let me give you a little bit of an insight. It's something that we've done for Dirago Maldives, which is another telco client that we work with. So RP Quest is a gamified, again, self-care application, which kind of infused the augmented reality aspects as well. So there's a lot of augmented reality elements and that which Indika will cover in the next session. So hopefully you'll get more insights around this. Okay. So I think one of the main important things that we wanted to discuss today is that how Microsoft and Arimac had worked together, and some of the things which Jeffrey earlier mentioned, and some of those we actually actively using, especially the Azure network, because we do have our own gaming cluster, which we have built out an entire gaming platform, which can actually leverage on giving more benefits to the Sri Lankan users. So we created IMI Games, which is our own gaming platform and the only gaming platform in the country, which is more of a gamification ecosystem. So you see, as clients, sometimes you may not want to develop a game end to end. It doesn't make sense to you to create this entire ecosystem or creating leaderboards, creating point systems, creating ways that you need to do a player profiling, all that you don't need to do by yourself. So what we thought is, hey, look, why can't we build a platform? And of course, we have the backers like Microsoft giving us all those superior services to ensure that our services run perfectly and enabling us to do better. So IMI Games was created in such context where created an entire games ecosystem. So, and I'll give you a few case studies along with this so that you will see how we have grown as well. So we worked with Keels and we developed this game called Keys Power Shopper within the system. Gave a lot of traction on this. So what we do here is that, let me give you the insight in terms of how we empowered Keels or Keels users. In the meantime, giving this, harnessing the atmosphere, harnessing the product on the platform end, so you can actually leverage more. So Keels Power Shopper, in terms of a business concept point of view, what happened is that they want to make sure that they're at the top of the mind when it comes to preferred retailers. Like for instance, the insight what we got is that, hey, look, who's gonna make the decision when it comes to buying the groceries or where are we to go to grocery shopping? Is the kid in the family? Probably the kid would say, hey, let's go to this outlet or let's go to that outlet. And parents tend to be a little skewed, or rather more skewed towards the kid's attention. Hence, how can we drive that mindset of a kid point of view was the the question that was put to our hand. So what we said was, hey, look, let's create a game and let's create a loop in the game. So the game's loop is that you play the game and then you come to a stage where you run out of lives. And in order to gain more lives, you need to shop in keys. That's where the business context comes into the play. So you need to shop in keys. You need to buy a certain set of goods so that you get a life which is given to you in a coupon code. So you enter that coupon code in your game and you get the life. And to give it even more traction, so this was done about a couple of years back, they gave away free PS4s each week. So it kind of connects the entire ecosystem where you give an incentive, you have the gaming system, it's connected with their own POS system and their own loyalty system, so that our game became this front-end infrastructure which connects with all these tiers. And of course, our infrastructure is backed with some of the Microsoft technologies. So you can see how the entire ecosystem connects. Another example of such is what we did with pizza for Harpo's. So Harpo's had the problem of not being able to connect with the global or rather wide audience, and pizza itself is something that is very closely connected with gaming, and they want to bring that ecosystem, they want to bring that culture into the play. So again, we created a game. The catch here is that we created a competition around pizza. So you play the game, and then once they're done, if you are the high score at the end of the week or at the end of the month, you're given pizza vouchers for free. So the catch is that you play the game, you become the champion in this championship, and then of course you get pizza rewards. At the same time, one of the key things which Harpo's also want to drive is that there are certain product elements that you want to bring into the customer. Like for instance, they do cook all their pizzas using cinnamon wood. So they want to encourage that little bit of information, this subtle information within the system, so that people who are actually playing the game gets to know that, hey, look, this is a superior pizza. That's why it is, positioned like this. This is why the thin crust is better. All these foodie elements that you want to bring into the consumer was brought in using the game. Similar case study is what we've done with Nesta Vault. So we've been doing this for a number of years now, where we digitize the entire audio experience, and last couple of years had been the case with COVID as well, so that they actually want to bring in the culture, they want to bring in this entire traditional outset, want to preserve it, but at the same time want to bring it in a digital format so that you get the crowds to engage and get them to be more connected. So that's another case study which we take a lot of pride on. And Dilma, for their 70th anniversary launch, we created a game. Again, simple elements within where you actually want to educate the users. For instance, Dilma takes pride to say that it takes about 70 tea leaves to make one good cup of tea. So that fact itself is the way how the game is designed, so that you actually need to consume that amount of tea leaves you need to collect in order to make this one perfect cup. And those kind of messaging is what we want to bring into and kind of take it to a wider audience. And it goes a little bit beyond. So we worked with, again, since we're talking amidst COVID, we worked with WHO, the World Health Organization, to give in a game which connects in terms of how to wash hands or the best way to wash hands, because we've been telling that washing hands is important and how that works alongside with it. So we created a game. Again, the platform is so intuitive that we managed to put it in Facebook as well, because we can launch these games in Facebook as well. So in a nutshell, what I want to explain to you guys is that the transformation is taking place whether we like it or not. And I would say that it is coming to a stage where it's going beyond the fact that we can actually control. So digitization is happening. We know that disruption is taking place. Along with all that, we already have the tools in place. So it's just a matter of having that right partner to help you, having that right outset to make sure that you can go the journey. And I feel I've given a little bit of insight in terms of what we have done and how we have partnered with Microsoft to bring this to you. So that ends my presentation. I think Intika will take over from me to talking on the interactive media work that we worked on this. Intika, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Supun. I think you can hear me very well, and also you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. All right, so in terms of immersive technology, it is kind of like a new word that came out with the concept of Industry 4.0, because the main concept of Industry 4.0 is kind of using the new technologies to revolutionize the industry experiences. So one of them has become immersive technologies, right? In a nutshell, augmented reality and virtual reality, and all of these things have become, they are kind of like emerging technologies these days. And companies like Facebook, which is owned by Oculus, which owns Oculus, and also companies like HTC and also Google and Apple, they're kind of creating these routes into these technologies, because they kind of know that the future relies on these types of technologies. So as Arimac, we've been working with these technologies for around 6 years now. We touched upon with augmented reality technologies when it was like a really new thing to the world. Back in 2013, 2014, we've been implementing all of these AR applications as well. So what is immersive technology and what is immersion? So the term of immersion is basically about dipping yourself into something spectacular and something, something metaphorical, and becoming totally immersed in something. If you like, the term immersion is defined as you dip in something, or like, completely covering yourself with something else. So in virtual reality and augmented reality, all of these immersive technologies are kind of mimicking this immersion. So that is why we call them as immersive technologies. For example, augmented reality is kind of so if I explain about different immersive experiences in the world right now, there is a concept called augmented reality. So basically, augmented reality is about mixing the physical world with the actual with the virtual elements. For example, as you can see here in this image, we have the machine, and then on top of that machine, we have 3D elements, 3D annotations that gives more information than what you actually see in the physical world. So that is why we call them as augmented, because we augment content on the actual physical world. And the other one is virtual reality. Virtual reality is extremely different when it comes to augmented reality. Virtual reality takes the whole physical world out of you and replaces it with a virtual environment. So basically, in virtual reality, you use headsets like this, and you totally immerse yourself with these headsets. And through these headsets, you can completely visualize a different environment, a different space for you to create different experiences and let other users work with them. Mixed reality. So when it comes to mixed reality and Microsoft, there is a huge bond between mixed reality and Microsoft. Mixed reality is kind of like an experience in the middle of virtual reality and augmented reality. So it kind of mixes both of them together. So you get some more immersive experience through mixed reality. So for example, Microsoft's mixed reality tool, which is called the HoloLens, is one of the world's most renowned hardware that we can see in terms of immersive technology. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about augmented reality and virtual reality, showing some examples that are in the world. So as you can see here, so this is basically augmented reality. You can see that all of this machinery and all of these industrial applications, you kind of can use the screen space augmented reality. Like, you can use an iPad or an iPhone to wave something more than that. And apart from that, you can wear devices like Microsoft HoloLens to visualize different components. So the main use cases of these are basically, preventive maintenance, training systems, and these, this is just a single example of how we can use augmented reality in the industrial world. So apart from that, we use augmented reality in every field. For example, logistics, and military and entertainment. And apart from that, we can use augmented reality in education as well. So as you can see how, what are the benefits of using this AR tool. So as I've said that, Industry 4.0, one of the main components of Industry 4.0 is replacing the manual maintenance systems, manual training with augmented reality, something like that. So for example, you can definitely replace the training times, all the efforts that you put into training with just a Microsoft HoloLens, and with that, the people who are like training themselves, they can just use these HoloLens and to know everything that is around you, and more than a manual person can give you. On the other hand, virtual reality. So as you can see here, this is actually a virtual environment. The complete environment is virtual, and you can see that you'll be able to use hand tracking capabilities. And in front of you, you have all of these tools. So with that, you'd be able to create a full immersed training experience. So this is just one example. I just wanted to take two main examples of AR and VR in the industrial world. But you can think how we can use the same same virtual reality experiences in all of the other industries as well. So speaking about AR, VR, and then, since we've worked with AR and VR for like more than 6 to 7 years, we are proud to say that we have empowered top brands with different immersive technologies. And I would like to showcase around 3 to 4 different case studies that we have successfully completed. So one of the best applications that we have done is in collaboration with Visa Innovation Center. So this is about creating an immersive experience, creating an application that uses the world tracking, right? So world tracking is a really new concept to the augmented reality world. We call this concept as persistent tracking. And we have used this technology to automatically, for example, when you open up your camera and scan around you, the system will automatically understand the context around you without any without any pre-trained markers or pre-trained like posters or any QR codes, anything like that. It will just identify the world around you. And I'm proud to say that, in order for this to work, to implement this, we used Microsoft Azure spatial anchors. And at the same time, we used native platforms, native SDKs like ARKit by Apple and also ARCore by Android to create the immersive experience. But the underlying architecture and the database and all of this content are hosted in Azure and as well as Azure spatial anchors. So as you can see here, this is actually a shopper experience that we did by integrating the innovative payment systems such as secure remote commerce. So we created this application as a prototype of how to use showcasing of how to use Visa's APIs, new payment APIs, and how we can combine augmented reality with their payment APIs. So moving forward, I think Supon kind of gave a brief explanation about RB Quest, and so this what you see here is the game that we did with Virago Maldives. So they marketed this as the first augmented reality game in Virago, and we are proud to say that we were the people who built this the first AR game, augmented reality experience in Maldives. And as similarly before, we used Microsoft Azure spatial anchors and as well as Microsoft Azure to structure the backend system of this game. So so this game is basically about visiting different places in Maldives and then collecting these seashells known as ralubis, which we call in short as RBs. So people who collect these ralubis they can convert this into a digital currency. So they can use this digital currency in their day-to-day telecom use cases, such as purchasing data, purchasing SMS and voice. So this is kind of a gamification feature that we implemented by using augmented reality technology. Another use case that we wanted to showcase is how we harness the Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook augmented reality tools to create something in collaboration with United Nations, and there are sustainable goals, sustainable development goals. So we created this experience for their UN Action Campaign, which held in New York in 2019. And we are proud to say that this particular application got more than 100 million impressions, and it uses the latest augmented reality technologies such as body tracking, human occlusion, and as well as plane tracking technologies. So another one that we wanted to showcase is that this is a really this goes all the way back to 2017. So that is when this augmented reality came into the emerging technology market, and we were the pioneers in Sri Lanka in terms of augmented reality, and we used these technologies to build something spectacular. So as you can see here, we partnered up with Tesco and also Hella Clothing in Sri Lanka to build this awesome game using augmented reality, and we were capable of building, testing and releasing this app just within 2 weeks, and we used highly realistic graphics and animations to complete the whole process. So those are some of the case studies that I wanted to explain. And immersive technology is still in its baby steps, and it is still emerging. And day by day, companies like Facebook and Microsoft with their HoloLens are investing a lot in terms of these technologies, because as you can see, with this COVID-19 pandemic, we are stuck at home and we were pretty much limited to a certain screen. But with these technologies like virtual reality and AR, you can actually visit in a virtual space, but you can actually engage with other people in an immersive manner and with more sensory experiences. So that is why people are kind of moving towards these technologies, and within the next decade, we believe that AR and VR is going to be one of the key technologies in the industry. And we are happy that we have been there since the beginning, and we are happy that we are evolving with it as well. So thank you very much, and I would hand over the discussion to Sandaru to continue the presentation. Thank you. Okay, Sandaru, you're on mute, I think.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. Thank you very much, Indika, for that insightful explanation about immersive technologies. So let me share my screen with you before I start the presentation. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Sandra.
Super. So I'll be quick on this. So this is about befriending robotics for success. As you know, we have been quite a few years now, started working on robotics, and we have been able to achieve very important milestones in the journey. So we thought, why not share what we had learned and experienced, and a bit of insight about this industry with you today in this webinar. So we are talking about humanoid robots today. This is a huge market out there, even though we are not very familiar with it, and it's not a heavy topic that we discuss every day in Sri Lankan context. But out there, they are massive. Now, if you talk about what a humanoid robot is, it's actually a professional service robot, built to mimic human motion and interaction. That's why it's called humanoid. And this particular humanoid robot market size is calculated to be over 803 million US dollars right now, and it has a huge growth rate. The CAGR is calculated to be about 36.4%, and as I've shared the information in the slide, it will reach 9.63 billion by 2028. So these are just a few, gist of the facts that about humanoid robot industry out there in the world. It's heavily growing and people are heavily investing on it. And if you look at the past few decades, so much has happened with internet coming in, with cloud services coming in, with big players like Microsoft, empowering communities, empowering technology partners. There's a lot of things happening out there in the technology industry. So humanoid robot and robot industry is not very different from it. So this is a bit about the very advanced level, the deeper end of humanoid robots. These are very special robots that have been made, and very advanced in terms of information retrieval and identifying gestures, human emotions, having conversations with humans. For an example, this robot called Nadine was developed by a Japanese company called Kokoro. Now she's working as a customer service agent out there in AIA Singapore. Now, because we've seen movies, we've read books about robots interacting with human beings in the real day-to-day life activities, but now it's not just a fiction. Now it's not just literature. It has happened. It's happening in reality. So these other robots are as well. Some of them are the results of heavy research and development projects. Some are very good in conversing, having deeper conversations with each other. For an example, this Sophia. If you browse YouTube, there are so many videos of Sophia explaining heavy topics, many complex topics, and conversing with people equally intelligently. So this is the level the humanoid robot industry is right now at, and I can bring you like lots of examples of social humanoid robots like this who can serve you in many different aspects. And if you look at robots who are developed in Boston Dynamics, these are more dynamic robot machines which are specified for a particular task. May it be military, may it be reaching out to places where it's very difficult for a human being to reach. These robots can do it. These are more stabilized versions of robots, and in terms of movements, in terms of stability, in terms of actions, these robots mimic human behavior very closely, so that they use these dynamic movements to get things done very efficiently. So just of importance of robotics for industries like us, no matter what industry we are in. Generally, researchers have conducted and decided and found out that robots, inclusion of robots in different parts of the industries have been able to increase the productivity up to 30%, in 30% by robots involvement, and including the reduction of production costs by 50%. Also, when it comes to utilization factor, the robots have helped to improve the utilization factor by 85%, which is a massive number. And also, people have predicted that by 2025, the 25% of robot labor tasks will be performed by robots. So this is I would say a very important time period that we are in, because so many developments are going on. People have understood really well the importance of these robots and how it can help the industries to move forward. And that's why it's predicted to have 264 million robot service units to be installed by 2026. This is a massive number. It's not equally spread over the world. It might be congested in particular countries like United States, Japan, China, Singapore, and Korea, but still it's heavy. It's very fastly moving, and things are being developed really fast. And just if you look at the this donut chart, you can understand like humanoid robots is even less than 1% when compared to other floor cleaning robots, unmanned aerial robots, lawn mowers, guided vehicles. It's a very less percentage when it comes to human robots market, but still there's which also means that there's so much of room to improve, and we can bring human robots to work with human beings and get utilize these productivity increases, cost reductions, and utilization increasements, all this into play. So how do we know so much about humanoid robots? It's because of this basically. I'm sure you might have heard of DSN, and yeah, that's why for the past 3 to 4 years we've been working on this amazing humanoid robot called DSN. Let's ask him himself what he has to say about.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to meet a personality. I call it personality because you will know why in just a little bit. And we're going to have a conversation, and let's see how that conversation goes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dear Zen. Wow, Dear Zen, how are you doing? It's exciting to have you here.
I'm doing great, Fahad. Thank you. What about you?
I'm great too. Awesome. So I think people will be excited to know what your capabilities are. People have a rough idea, but I think that you'd be the best person to give us the deeper details.
Well, I am your friend. I can help you with so many things. My major service will be in customer support. I can add a greater value to customers in serving their requirements regardless of the place. For all the level 1 customer support requirements, solving usage problems, and fulfilling service desk requests, I am capable of doing without a hassle. And my scope of support may vary based on the location and services it offers. For example, in a bank, I can help you in transferring money, making bill payments, checking account details, viewing and changing account settings. Basically, I am a moving kiosk that can come to you. But based on where I am, I can be customized to help the administration to make their work much easier, being a personal friend to any customer or visitor. And also, in larger warehouse spaces or shopping malls, I can usher you to places you find it difficult to locate. Going beyond that, I can run personalized promotions after checking who is in front of me. I will show ads on my screen display so I can add more value to the advertisement. Unlike you, Fahad, I can be active 24/7 so that I will be able to serve more customers throughout the day. And I get so many invitations to parties, weddings these days, because I am a bit famous now and people like to see and interact with me.
That is pretty cool indeed. So as you know, right now, Sri Lanka's tech community is watching, and I'm sure they'd love to know.
Yeah, so that's a bit of an insight from DSN himself of what he's capable of doing. So when it comes to humanoid robots, there could be social humanoid robots and industrial humanoid robots. But when it comes to DSN, he is actually both, and he can perform. He has the ability to perform in both areas equally based on the requirement, and it's very customizable. So when it comes to social aspect of the humanoid robot, DSN is able to become a customer assistant, as in he can appear in lobby areas of your organization and help the customers with whatever the requirements that they want to fulfill, especially in days like this where people-to-people interactions are minimized and limited. DSN would come really extremely handy in this kind of environment. And also, like, DSN can be a receptionist who can guide you in terms of whatever the requirement that you have. And going beyond that, DSN could be a very good presenter, an attractive, a sharp on-point presenter, and a learning partner who can work with you and who will bring information for you whenever it is required. When it comes to areas like personal assistance, still DSN would come in handy. Whatever the requirement is, as a humanoid robot personal assistant, DSN is very much. Technologies that is being associated with DSN's core are very much capable of helping, related work. When it comes to the industrial aspect of it, now imagine large warehouses, probably if you talk about large shopping malls where it's very difficult to guide human beings or workers, laborers for particular locations. And when it comes to patrolling behavior, we can program DSN to do patrolling and observe the surrounding, to observe anomalies, to observe changes, and report them back straight to a particular computer. So as a patrolling robot, we can use DSN in the industrial aspect. And when it comes to storage and retrieval, still DSN is capable because of its perfect mimicking human behavior and nature. And it comes to monitoring stocks, generating insights based on the stocks available and based on the situation of the warehouse, still DSN would come handy as an industrial humanoid robot. So going forward, just a small video for you to understand like what we have done so far as a concept for the Lotus Tower. Now we are going to place DSN in the Lotus Tower, and DSN will be guiding you when you go to the Lotus Tower. DSN will be the person who is guiding you and giving you the direction, information on where to go.
Welcome to the Lotus Tower digital experience. It's a pleasure to have you all here today. I will be with you throughout this journey, and if you need to know anything, just ask me. Before we move on, our very own DSN will assist you in everything you need, so don't hesitate to get DSN's assistance.
Yeah, so I hope you got a very good understanding and insight on how DSN would come in handy, and how we would fit into your industry, your business as a social humanoid robot, and how we can help your business grow, interacting with your customers in terms of social humanoid robot aspect. But going beyond, we have done another project with NDP. I'll show you a video which is very self-explanatory on how we transform digital banking along with connected devices, and how we supported and work with NDP to redefine this banking experience of customers using these technologies. Yeah, so that's about it. I hope you had a very good insight about how robotics can, grow businesses, especially in times like this, especially in, challenging times like this. So if you have any questions, the floor is open for you. And thank you very much for being part of today's webinar. Ayati?
Thank you, Sandru, and thank you to all our presenters, Jeffrey, Supun, and Indika for taking part today in this webinar as our first step to reach out to our clientele. So this focused webinar where we selected a group of our clients that we want to approach and work together with has now come to an end with giving you ideas about how we can improve our businesses with emerging technologies as well as robotics, and then by encompassing digital transformation into revenue generation and user engagement. So as a next step, what we would be doing is to reach out to each of our individual clients that we are focusing on in this particular webinar, and then take those discussions forward into a more focused forum where we will identify how these technologies can be used to enhance the respective businesses in those respective industries. So with that as a note on what we are going to do as next steps, if there are any questions even afterwards, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will do the same with you to take these discussions forward on a more focused arena with you and your business stakeholders in your respective companies. So thank you very much for joining with us today, and we will be sharing the recording of this webinar with all of you and those respective stakeholders that could not join today, and then we will take it on from there. Thank you so much and stay safe.